Anybody need to say anything before I take you to mute?
I have to say,
Good morning.
thanks for doing this, even when you're traveling.
Yeah, it's great to be able to do it even when I'm traveling.
Are you in a closet?
Yeah, kind of in the closet. There's this funny little room. Maybe it was like an office. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Almost. How's that? Okay? All right. So take that moment just to feel your feet on the floor. Take a deep breath. Show up right here. It's good morning. And then just check in with your right and left side and just notice, is there a difference between the right and left side? How balanced does it feel? If you bend your knees, like, do your quads engage really easily? Just notice where it's at. And then we'll start with elbow curls today. Fold your fingers to your palms, bring your hands to your temples. Take a deep breath in, make space in your torso. Full breath in, feel your rib cage expand laterally, and then elbows all the way together so they touch, and all the way back. All the way in, all the way back. As we do elbow curls and you start to work your shoulder blades like a hinge, it can change what's going on at the level of the shoulder, down to the rib cage, to the top of the pelvis, and even starting to go down your legs. Nice. Big shoulder rolls up and back and around. Feel that move your entire spine all the way up from the upper back down to the middle back, down to the top of the pelvis. Up, back, around. And then forward, squeeze your shoulder blades together, bring them up, and let your shoulder blades come all the way off your back. So retract the shoulder blades, up, protract. And around. Backwards one more time. All the way down through the spine. Take that motion as some lotion. Let the vertebrae in the upper back should be fairly flexible. There's 15 or more degrees of rotation in those upper vertebrae, and flexion and extension is there. Now take your hands and put them on your rib cage and do some rib circles. So feel the rib cage move around. You can keep the pelvis fairly stable, but feel the rib cage move. And this is a place where the diaphragm connects here, and often people get a little bit stuck. If you're somebody that's worked on abdominal strength a lot or core strength, sometimes that can be restricted. It gets really stable between the rib cage and the pelvis, and there's some benefit to that stability. There's also a need for necessary movement. I also heard recently that one lung tends to fill better, maybe because of some of the other organs in your body, that may rotate the rib cage a little bit. So we can move that with breath work and with just taking that little bit of movement into the rib cage itself. Now feel the rib cage and the shoulder. So that's another place that can be really connected. And I just want you to feel how the shoulders, so reach your elbows way back in space and then feel that shoulder blade move over your rib cage, and then just bring your arms out to the side a little bit again. Bring your elbows back like you're trying to touch the wall behind you. Move the shoulder blade around the rib cage and open up your neck as you free up that space, and then let the shoulders come back out, elbows pointing away from you, elbows pointed toward the back. Just get that shoulder blade to have some glide. Do about 3 more. Nice. Now bring your hands to your hips and take it into a hip rotation. Take your hips all the way around and start to move into the corners of those tissues. As you load one side up, feel how that is, and just notice, is there a difference between one side and the other as you go around in that big circle like you're hula hooping? And reverse it. Just bring some movement into that space. Nice. Now, start going up onto your toes. We'll just move the femur bones in the sockets first before we ask them to balance. So up onto your toes 10 times. As we access the calf, muscles that go from the bottom of your foot up behind your leg, hooking in behind the knee, that may pull any tibial torsion if there's a rotation of the lower shank out, lining up the ankle and the knee and the hip, hip with the ribs, ribs with the shoulders. Good, toes out. And just feel as you move the leg bones out, do they both externally rotate in a similar way? See if you can even feel some muscles like underneath in the back as those deep 6 muscles, the deepest muscles in your pelvis, help rotate that leg out. Your glutes also are external rotators and they help with hip extension. So you should feel some butt muscles here too. Lift and lower 10 times. Relax your belly. And then pigeon toe your feet, toes together. Roll the weight to the inside of your feet. Bring them in, and then lift and lower, up and down 10 more times. Good, we'll go through that once more. Feet to straight, up onto your toes 10 times. Notice if one leg wants to do more than the other. And then take those feet as far out as you feel able, and all the way until you feel your butt muscles kick in. Really pull them out. Femurs rotating outward. Feel that change all the way up into the pelvis, and then lift and lower. And then pigeon toe, toes touching, roll the weight to the inside of your feet, find your adductors. See if you can get into the inside. So when you roll your legs in, you have butt muscles on the outside of your hips that help medially rotate the glute medius and minimus, and then inside leg muscles that also pull you in, adductors, and you're opposing a bit of the psoas here. So if you feel like, oh, one psoas just tightened up or you're twisted, see if you can get as square as possible and lift and lower. As you rotate your legs in like this, you also put a little more arch into your back. It's just kind of impossible for that not to happen when we're not lying down on the ground. That changes all the way up between the shoulder, even into the head and neck. Feet pointed straight again. Last 10. Good. Let's do some head rolls all the way around. So now that we have ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, rib cage all lined up a little more, move through your neck. Again, add that lubrication, cerebral spinal fluid into the spaces where your discs can imbibe that fluid, suck it up like a sponge and make more space between each of the vertebrae and the facet joints and where the nerves need their pathway to flow to give you good power supply to all of the lungs, heart, muscles. And go ahead and take it over to one side and just add a little weight if you like. You can even reach with that opposite arm. Take a breath. Inhale up, over to the other side, and reach. And up. Nice. Now just tuck your head. So chin down all the way. Find your deep neck flexors. Let your chin just go down. And then bring it back up. Bring your ears back over your shoulders. Look up and see if you can lengthen some of the muscles in the front. Your sternocleidomastoid is here and your scalenes. These are all muscles that can tighten down and create some restriction in the space in the back. So again, tuck your chin all the way, then let your head slide forward, lengthen the back of the neck, and then pull the head back over your shoulders and go ahead and look up. And then take that chin down and let it move more into your upper back. Let your upper back start to round and gently go forward. Thighs tight. Lift your kneecaps really a lot. See if you can get the contraction in the front of the thigh to lift all the way up to the hip. And then just see how far your body can gently round over. I know it's early, so take this slowly, please. Shoulders off your back. Thighs super, super, super tight. Maybe even only go here, that's okay. Maybe as your body lets go, you keep going. Making it even between the right and left side, noticing if there's differences. Feeling the muscles take their length. The individual muscle cells have to slide apart to create that length. Good. Find your butt muscles now. Keep the thighs tight. Use your butt muscles to lift all the way up. This time, take it into a hip hinge. So this time, knees bent, hips go back, and then flat back, hinge down. Different set of hip muscles get to do that action. Coming down, keeping your back flat. Take a breath, lengthen your spine, and then use your butt muscles again. Come all the way up to standing. Good, reach your arms up to the sky. One more time each way. Tuck your head, chin down to chest, one vertebra at a time, through the neck, through the middle back, thighs tight. Let the rounding happen. One vertebra at a time goes down, open space. Thighs tight, thighs tight, thighs tight. Feel your belly muscles engage. Like pull the rib cage down toward your pubic bone. Legs really tight. We're moving the pelvis over the top of the femur bones. Moving slowly. Wherever you stop, that's fine. Get the full length of those muscles. And then use your butt muscles. Root your pelvis down. Find the glutes, one vertebra at a time. Coming all the way up. Stack your joints, reach your arms up. And then bend your knees, hip hinge. taking it back, lengthen, full length. And then with that hip hinge, bringing your belly toward your thighs, coming down, maybe touch the floor. Hips move back, rib cage moves forward so that there's as much length between your hips and your torso as possible. And hold that. You can feel your thighs turn on. Now reach your right arm up and just find the length on that side. Hold it and breathe. Thigh muscles working, hamstring working. Feel your butt muscles engage as you pull back. Reach that right arm down, take the left arm up, reach it up there. Hold and breathe. Hips move back, butt muscles like catcher's mitts, pulling your butt muscles back in space, reaching that arm long, rib cage gets long, and release. And then come all the way back up to standing. Let's go feet wide. Into a spread foot forward bend, bending over, thighs tight, hug your feet towards the midline. Moving your pelvis once again over the top of the thigh bones. Keep legs super, super active. So thighs tight, hugging in, and then work your body over to your right foot. Full breath in. Exhale it out. Find length through this whole left side of your body, from the hip to the ribs to the shoulder. One more breath. And release. Second side. Thighs tight. Your thigh muscles here are knee extenders. They push the legs straight. And if they can get straight, then you can work all the way up into that hip and into the whole torso. For some of you, that probably pulls pretty good on your hamstrings. Please keep your hamstrings safe by not overdoing it and really activating all the rest of those leg muscles. Back to the center. Pull it down one more time. Feel muscles around your hips. That leg abducted position can help drop a hip and take out a hip disparity. And come all the way up. Bring it all the way in. Nice. Okay, stepping forward. I want you to find your leg. We're going to go back into a lunge. You're going to just find your leg in space and really control it. So left leg stays forward, right leg drops back. And then you could go hands on your hips or hands behind your head or reaching up to the sky. That would be all different levels of thoracic extension. So find that, drop your knee down as far as it will go, hold it for a second, and then step up. Second side, take it back in space, find that place where it can go down, drop your knee, hold it, hips square, again, hands can be here, hands can be here, and go right here. Thoracic extension into that lunge, step up. First side again, back, down into that lunge, hold it. Feel the shoulder align with the rib cage align with the hip moving back, the quad and the butt working on, especially on this front leg. The thigh is going to work, but push down through that heel and feel your butt turn on also, and then step up. Stepping back, hold it. Pull your elbows back, take a breath, feel it move into your torso, feel your legs starting to warm up. And step up. Last one, We're in this unilateral hip position here. And step up. Excellent. 10 squats. Let's stay hands behind your head. Just keep that thoracic extension that we've been finding. Elbows go back, hips go back. Hug your feet toward the midline, push out with your knees, and squat down as far as your body will naturally let you go. And stand up 10 times. And release. Nice job. Standing arm circles. Hands into the golfer's grip, arms by your side. Pinch your shoulder blades together and circle forward 40 circles. Backwards, hug in. And release. Pigeon toe your feet all the way together, toes touching. Feel the legs internally rotate and just once again, feel how that feels. We did this in the beginning with our toe raises. And then bring your arms up, rotate your thumbs so that they're going outward. So out like that. Hold them up there and now try and take a breath and make space between your shoulder blades. So not a hug in, but a kind of push shoulder blades apart. Hold that position. Thighs tight. Feeling that leg rotate in. Medial femur position. Internal rotation at the hips. Breathe into those arms. Head over shoulders over hips. Then go wider. It's our floor block position on the floor. We're just doing it loaded. It's a little more demanding. Some people could do this facing a wall, but might as well just do it out in space today. Good. Arms out in a Y shape. Take a breath, make more space between your shoulder blades. Find that external rotation so you get into that rotator cuff. Really work it. Turn on all those shoulder muscles. Relax your belly. Good. Take it straight out from your shoulders. Really crank them down. See if you can get your arms to go beyond just neutral there, like thumbs starting to go down toward the floor the other way. Get all the way into that rotator cuff. Once again, press your shoulder blades apart. With your breath, move your breath into the upper back. Make space in those shoulders. And release it down. Nice. Change your feet. Just take a moment. Hopefully that feels like we're starting to loosen up. Maybe check your forward fold. Just feel if that feels easier. There could be a few people that got tighter for in that move. If that happened, let me know. Okay, go ahead and have a seat down on the floor. We'll go into, sorry, not quite yet. Grab your block. Come to kneeling. We're going to do a little glute sequence here. So hopefully our shoulders are in better alignment. When we come down to kneeling like this, we pull on the muscles that cross the hip and the knee, the two joint hip flexor or two joint hip muscles. We're lengthening them and we're asking them to work in this position. It also might pull your pelvis forward. So if you have a tight psoas at all, then just being in this position might make it hard to kind of be in neutral. So put your block between your ankles. Relax your shoulders, relax your belly, but get as long and tall as possible. And then squeeze that block between your ankles. We're gonna do 60 of these. Squeeze and release. And this is for those of us that have maybe one psoas that's tighter than the other, or one quad that's tighter than the other. Maybe like if your TFL or rectus femoris is that those are quad muscles are tighter on one side, then maybe you don't have as great access to that glute. So if the front of your hip is tight, your leg can't get behind you as well. So now find the muscles in your butt. Keep going. Ears over shoulders, over hips. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Find those glutes with this squeeze, hugging your feet into that block. Hug and hold. Feel it enough that you bring that femur bone around, especially if your knees point to the middle. But even if your knees point out, just accessing this muscle as its prime mover is good to help bring that alignment back into play. Okay, now do the same thing down on your belly. Put that block between your feet again. Fold your hands underneath your forehead and squeeze and release that block. Really relax your shoulders completely. Squeeze, release. Find those glutes. If you need to move your knees slightly wider than your hips to help those muscles engage, then go ahead and do that. And then squeeze, hold, feel the muscles working, release. Squeeze, release. Keep going, a few more. Squeeze, release. How is that around your hips? Does it feel the same? Opening up those front of the hips again. And roll over. Come onto your back. Put the block between your knees and squeeze and release. Squeeze, release. Now, balancing your pelvis, you did external femur rotation. Now we're going to internal femur rotation. The floor, once again, is holding your shoulders and your pelvis all stable. Go ahead and take your block, put it over to the side, and now we'll go into our twists. Sitting floor twist. Sit really tall, take your right foot, put it over your left leg, and take your right hand behind you, twist. Feel your shoulder blade come into alignment, feel the hip flexor shorten and activate in the front, and just breathe as you pull yourself around. Untwist, switch sides. Left leg crossing over right, left hand behind you, and twist. The more you can pull that left leg in towards you, the more your hip flexor will engage, the more that stabilizes the low back and allows the whole upper back to twist. And release. Then into a crocodile twist. Both legs out straight on the floor. Onto your back. Put your left foot on top of your right and twist up and over to your right side. Hold that position and breathe. We use this one to help drop a hip, change your back. If there's thoracic rotation, it helps to get that out. Because it uses your obliques, it can also address a rib cage rotation. Untwist and switch. Right foot on top of left, up and over. To the left, look to the right, and breathe. Thighs super tight. Feel the quads engage all the way up to from the kneecaps into the hip. And begin to untwist. Pelvic tilts. Rock your hips backward and forward. We'll do one more into a hip crossover stretch. Cross the right ankle over the left knee all the way down to the floor. Palms down this time. And then press your knee away from your body to open up that hip. Once again, breathe. Come on up. Switch sides. All the way down. Press your knee open and away from you. And then come out of it, onto your hands and knees, round and arch your back, cats and dogs. And then come into a kneel and groin stretch. You could be here, or you could take that up one more notch and grab your foot. So that would be more hip flexor and quad, if that feels comfortable for you. And then square your shoulders, shoulder blades down on your back. Open up those spaces. And release. Switch. So just groin stretch if you want, that's totally fine. Add the quad stretch, square your shoulders, shoulder blades away from you or away from your ears, down your back. Open that up. And release again. Hands and knees, cats and dogs, one more time. And then come into a plank on your elbows. Tuck your toes under. Take all of that work that we just did and hold it and stabilize. From this position, feel the position of your pelvis, feel your quads engage, feel your head come right in line with your shoulders, and then you can play in your shoulders. I think if you push up so that your upper back is a little bit more round, you get into that serratus anterior, which maybe just isn't as active as we would like it to be. So press up, round your upper back just slightly so that you're not sinking into your shoulders, but you're strong, pushing up through your shoulders in that position. And release. Come onto your side. Now you could go knees here and push up, hips off the floor so that you're on your elbow, or come all the way out to your feet, your choice. Feet can be stacked, one right on top of each other or split, but come into a one-arm bridge on your elbow and lift. Release it down and Switch to the other side. Knees, again, folded, your choice here, out. You can take one foot up, any variation of getting your hips off the floor, as long as that's okay on your shoulder. And then press your shoulder down through the floor so that you get really strong. And release. Come into a table position. Hands this way, hips off the floor as you lift up. Feel it pull through that internal rotation of the arm bone, what that does to the shoulder blades on your back. Hips stay high, finding that whole posterior chain. 3 more breaths. And release. All right, a little bit of abdominal work. We're going to do a couple Pilates style roll-ups. So go ahead and legs out straight. Begin to roll down onto the floor. Reach your arms up over your head. And then exhale, roll 1 vertebra at a time, squeeze your legs towards each other. Let your body round, come all the way up to sitting tall through your back. And then tuck your tailbone, 1 vertebra at a time, squeeze your legs together. You can go heels together even and let that whole inner thigh chain really work a little bit more. And then exhale, coming all the way up, lift, and roll it down. Tuck, and open. And tuck. 2 more. Nice. Good job, everybody. Last one. You're doing it. Excellent. Coordinating between that whole front chain. I love it. Okay. Onto your back. 1 foot up. Hold underneath your knee. Retrain your body to have proper foot strike. Again, shoulder blades down and back. Circle your foot all the way around 20 circles. And reverse. Point and flex. And release. Switch sides. Reverse. Point and flex. Put the bottom of your feet together, let your knees drop out into a frog once more. Make sure your rib cage is in line with your pelvis, hands reaching up to the sky. Pull your arms over your head, try to touch your thumbs to the floor once more. Hold it there, even press your whole upper back into the floor or your whole arms into the floor to help open your upper back one more time. And then bring them up, bring your knees back in. Last set of pelvic tilts. Rock backward and forward. Move your spine all the way through your shoulders, all the way up to your head and neck. And then roll your head and neck side to side. Bring some movement into that space one more time. With your shoulders gently tucked under, press your head into the floor 10 times. Press, release, press, release. Fire up the muscles on the back side of your neck. Then roll your head to one side all the way over. Press your head down into the floor in that full twist. Other side, twist. So I actually lifted my head a little bit to find that twist. So I'm not over on the side of my shoulder. I'm still in line with my body. Press, release. And then back to center. One more time, 10 presses backwards, right into the floor. Fire up those back neck muscles in that lengthened neck position. And then come to whatever position is most comfortable for you. And take a couple minutes of mindfulness. Legs up over your block, legs straight on the floor, come into seated. Close your eyes and just follow your breath. Allow the rest of your day to drop back and be right here, right now. Feel the air as it moves into your body. Follow the next 3 breaths and just stay with each sensation of those breaths. As if consciousness is experiencing those breaths through your body. And if you want to stay here, go ahead and turn off your computer. Otherwise, come back around. Please unmute yourself if you'd like to say something.
Thanks, Kyra. Thanks for taking your vacation time.
Thank
Get
you,
it-
Kyra. Have a fun
Bless
day.
everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kyra, where are you?
I'm at Snow Basin.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Lots of
I'm obviously in a closet. It's a little echoey, but we got it in. Did that feel okay for everybody?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was great.
Yeah, it felt fresh, like some really fun new toys to play with. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Awesome.
I heard a great show on the radio yesterday that you might all be interested in listening to, which was on the between say 9:15 and 9:30 on KPCW, and it was a woman. Her book is called The Power of Breath, and she's actually a trained singer, and she was saying how basically for the first 2 months of class in her training, all they did was breathe. But it was kind of a cool thing, you know, going back from like kids know how to breathe, and we've screwed it up in our life. So I'm not going to badly paraphrase any of it, but Kyra, for sure you would want to read it, and others might be interested. It's all the same, you know, the same, a lot of the
It was on the
same
mountain
things
life
we're
yesterday.
doing, but what's that?
Was on the mountain life yesterday.
Yeah, on the mountain life, you know, between about 9:15 and 9:30. Well, you were all skiing and I wasn't. Yes. But interesting.
Well, I guess if you're skiing, you just have to remember to breathe with every time.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Make
There
sure
you
it's
go.
not just up in your chest and then it's down lower.
Yeah.
And if you
Yep.
can't breathe
Lower,
with
lower,
your
lower. Yep.
mouth
Yep. And more emotional breath versus panic breath or trying to breathe, you know, like, yeah. So anyway, all right. Have fun out there.
awesome.
Bye.
Yep, thank you for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have a great
Everybody,
day.
can you hear me? Kyra, am I on?
Yes, I hear you.
One thing I might suggest when we're doing in Shavasana, an eye pillow is really another plus in another dimension when you're in Shavasana.
Yeah, Judy's got hers. Yeah, awesome. Thank you for that suggestion.
And thank you.
Those. I never thought to bring it to class to use it for that last couple set minutes. But
Yeah,
that's-
it's really nice, especially if it's scented. I don't know what I have, but Amazon will give you 1,000 choices.
Yeah.
Great day, everybody.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.